الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور انفسنا ومن سيئات اعمالنا. من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا تجد له وليا مرشدا. ومن لم يهد الله له نورا فما له من نور. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له الذي هدانا بالإسلام وأكرمنا بالقرآن وخصنا بخير كتاب أنزل وأكرمنا بخير نبي أرسل وجعلنا بالإسلام خير أمة أخرجت للناس. الحمد لله الذي مجدد الأعوام أعمى بعد عام، الذي كتب بأفضل الأشهر شهر المحرم، كما قال الله في كتاب الله: إن عدة الشهور عند الله 12 شهرا في كتاب الله يوم خلق السماوات والأرض منها 4 حرم ذلك دين القيم. وأشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا وحبيبنا ومولانا ومعلمنا محمد بن عبد الله الذي يتفاء الله من خلقه وبعثه بالحق بشيرا ونذيرا وداعيا بإذنه وسراجا ومنيرا. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على هذا الرسول الكريم وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. We thank Allah. We are grateful to the one in whose hand is our life. And we seek for His help and His forgiveness. And we seek for His protection from the evil of our soul and from the evil of the things which we do. He who is guided by Him is the one that is guided. And whenever He misguides you, no amount of light can take you to the right road. And He is the one that has provided the light. And if He takes you out of the light, no matter the power of energy you can provide, you will not be able to see anything. We testify that there is no any other deity worthy of worship besides Allah. He is the one that has guided us to His land. He has honored us with His blood of Quran, and He is guiding and protecting us with the best of the book that was revealed. And He also honors us with noble Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the best of all the prophets that He has sent, and He has given us Islam. I have made us Muslims as the best of all the people that He has raised among mankind. We thank Him, and we are grateful to Him, the one that He will renew each year with another year. He is the one that now opens each new year with that honorable month, the month of Muharram. As Allah says in the Holy Quran that certainly the number of months with Allah is 12. The day in which the creation of the earth and heaven they are, and among the months, 4 of them are sacred. That is the life month. We also testify that our noble Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is His messenger and servant. Is our leader, is our teacher, is our guide. Peace and blessing of Allah be upon Him, those who follow Him, members of His household, until the day of Qiyamah. Allah tells us in the glorious Quran that only you believe, fear Allah, and always say the right thing at the right time. If you do this, Allah will fill you of your battle, He forgives you of your sin, and will try to follow Allah and His messenger as He did again with the greatest in all. الحمد لله we are sincerely grateful to Him for His mercy and love, for His blessing. That it is not because we have money, that is why we are alive. It is not because we have access to the best medicine, and that is why we are healthy. We have all this because of your mercy. Oh Allah, we are very grateful to you. As we all know, today is the 3rd day of the first Islamic calendar, the first Islamic month, in the year of HIJRAH 1445, the one that we started about 3 years ago. This new HIJRAH, that is the Islamic calendar we are starting. I think as Muslims, we need a lot of, we argue on everything as Muslims. Some people will not differentiate things that are muamalat and things that are ibadat. They will mix muamalat with ibadat, and they will think that what are the muamalat things that which you do, you are bringing it as an ibadat. When they say this is a new year, they will tell you the Prophet is not celebrating. That is true. But it was the Prophet himself that moved from one place to another. And we have learned a lesson from his movement. HIJRAH this time around, that is Muharram 1. It marks the difference between fear and victory, between those who are under and those who are above. It is also shows us those who are in freedom and those who are under service. It is also marked as sign of nothingness to beingness. It is movement from annihilation to relevance, and above all, it opened the gates of success for Islamic revolution after a lot of fire and tribulation before HIJRAH. As we all know, HIJRAH is the movement of our noble Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam from Mecca to Medina in 622 AD. And incidentally, the date in the Islamic calendar, in the Gregorian calendar, was 16th of July, 622 AD. That is when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he moved from Mecca to Medina. But we all know that that movement, it was not a pleasurable one. That movement, that was not as the one in which everybody was happy. It was a movement where Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam left all what he had, and we have to move to an unknown land. It is a time that you move from the space where you are not relevant to a place where you was relevant. It left the place where there was no confidence, where there was no freedom for him to worship his God, to a place that provided another hope of worshiping Allah. We all remember that. Umar, the second caliph, was the one that institutionalized the usage of the HIJRAH calendar in 639 AD. Do not forget, the program that the Prophet ﷺ moved in 622 AD and 639 AD was the year that we began to use Islamic calendar, to use the HIJRAH as Islamic calendar. It was done in reaction to persecution of our Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and the Muslims in Mecca at that time. I don't know whether you remember that Muslims were being tortured. They were being killed in numbers, and the Muslims were boycotted by the Meccans. Many of us might not know what is called boycott. It is like you are in prison in a town. The Muslims in Mecca at that time, if they go to the market, the Mecca people will not buy, will not sell anything for them. If they want to sell, the people in Mecca will not buy from them. If they need water, nobody will give them. If they are hungry, nobody will give them. Perhaps you have not experienced what is called boycott. It is not it is more than the current modern boycott. It is a real boycott. That if you are just hungry, you do not have a house, nobody will rent a house to you. And those are the kind of what is meant by boycotts there. And the Prophet ﷺ with his people, they have to leave Mecca for Medina. And they are living in Medina. Alhamdulillah, he brought a lot of things for Islam. Today, perhaps where the Prophet had his first prayer, it was a mosque in Cuba before they built the mosque in Medina. And that Cuba, after Haram, the best they in Mecca, many of us do not know that the first mosque in Medina was Cuba and not that Masjid Nabawi. Masjid Nabawi will now be taught that there is another one where the Prophet of Islam prayed on the way before he got to Cuba and finally before he prayed in Medina. And also, it also created an opportunity for Muhammad and the nascent Ummah at that time to have their own first place where they would be meeting and they would be teaching. And also, it is an opportunity for us to teach the entire world, like what the world is facing today, the problem of internally displaced people and refugees. It was that gave the model of how do you take care of people who are internally displaced and those who are refugees in another country. Alhamdulillah. Al-HABIBIYYAH is leading a part of the international community as far as Islam is concerned. Just recently, we signed an MOU based on the teachings of our noble Prophet Muhammad on raising funds for the IDPs and refugees in Nigeria, with United Nations High Commission for Refugees in Nigeria. In this month, about 3 weeks ago, that we are Muslims, we understand the workings of our noble Prophet Muhammad and on getting to Medina. It was there the nascent nation of Islam began. That is the establishment of the Commonwealth of the Nation. Islam was established completely at that time. Living Mecca and Medina provided hope for Muslims. It provided hope for our noble Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It provided an avenue for progress and prosperity in human being among us, the Muslims. It has changed the world, the way things are being done, completely. It was changed by the establishment of the Ummah. As we all know, that the calculation of the Islamic calendar, we should know that ours, what we follow, is what we call lunar, that is, it's determined and it's calculated. Many people don't actually differentiate between the lunar and the solar calendar. They do not even know that there are so many ways in which people use to calculate their own year. Every nation has ways of calculating their own days and times, which they call calendar. But Alhamdulillah, one of the best on earth is the way in which the Muslims determine and calculate our own year. It is the movement of the moon around the movement of the earth around the moon. That is what we call the lunar calendar, which the Muslims are facing. We are using, but the Gregorian calendar, the January, February, March, it is the movement of the earth around the sun, and it is called the solar calendar. Perhaps you might not know. The only difference between solar and lunar, it is just 11 days. The lunar calendar, which we are calculating, it is 365 less 11 days. It means you can actually calculate it by yourself. If you know the day which we start our Ramadan, let's say for argument purposes, that Ramadan was started on the 21st of March this year. It means next year, the day Ramadan will start, you just remove 11 from that 21, it's going to give you 10. So when you are starting Ramadan next year, it will give you on the 10th of March. It is as simple as that. Only where we have leap year, don't forget, there are quarter, and that is why it will be changed by just 1 day. Islam is the owner of science. It is there because the Muslims, they introduced the computerization of how to calculate days and months, of which many Muslims, they are still arguing today. They do not know that Islam actually encourages us to use science to calculate things, and they will tell you can't use science. What Islam says is that there must be a kind of control experiment Even when you do science, you must be able to have control experiments to say we are able to see with our own eyes after the science has proved that this is the time that it will be done. The issue of HIJRAH. For us as Muslims, it is our life itself. Because when you are calculating the Islamic calendar, it reminds you of every aspect of our life. For example, perhaps next we will be discussing the importance of Muharram itself. It allows you to understand the workings of Almighty Allah. When you are calculating the Islamic calendar, it gives you the opportunity to be conscious of your duties to Allah. Because that, you know when is the 4th of Muharram, and you know what Allah, the Prophet ﷺ has told us about it. You will remember the 10th of Muharram, which is HIJRAH, and you also remember the 9th of Muharram, which is Tasu'ah. We will have the Tasu'ah and HIJRAH. And the 10th of Muharram, I always declare it. For those who know it's International Day of Interfaith Freedom, that is Tasu'ah, HIJRAH, that is what it is. Some people will ask, what is interfaith on HIJRAH? When the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he got to Medina, he saw some Jews, they were celebrating on the 10th of Muharram. Instead of him to be abusing and insulting them, to be saying that they are not following him, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in his wisdom and the guidance from Almighty Allah, he went to them, my brothers, what are you doing? And they told the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that we are celebrating the victory of Sayyidina Musa over his enemy. And the Prophet told them that I have more relationship with Musa more than you. And the Prophet said, if my life, I have life till next year, we are not only going to celebrate this what we are celebrating, we are still going to add one more day to make us be different from you, to let you know that we are actually close to Musa more than you. And us, when you are following the Islamic calendar, it allows you to know when the important days in Islam, especially, like we mentioned, the first 10 days of Muharram, the month of Rajab, which is the month of the birth of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You remember Sha'ban, there are some special days in Islam that are there. You remember Ramadan, you remember Laylatul Qadr, you remember even the day in which the Muslim born the non-Muslim. That is the day in which the day of victory for the Muslims. You remember the HIJRAH, that is the month of Hajj. You remember even this month, that is the first month of Muharram. And also, it will be celebrated when asked by sending gifts to our friends and relatives, sending greetings to them, even visit them, and even sending gifts to non-Muslims. There are some Islamic organizations on every day of Mawlud, it is the day they used to give people something. And when they ask them, what are you doing? They will tell them that they are celebrating the birthday of Muhammad. It made them to think that everything that is good comes from the life of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And some people accuse them. They say that is their own way of doing their da'wah, so that even those who do not know the Prophet, they begin to be respecting him. Hence, because we have the opportunity of sitting down, of realizing what our religion is on this first day of Muharram. And that is why we are still calling on the government to continue to start the declaration of the 1st of Muharram as public holiday. Some states have declared it in the northern part of Nigeria, here, and also about 3 states in the southwestern part of Nigeria that they also declared the 1st day of Muharram, that is Wednesday, 3 days ago, as a public holiday. We should also, why we should ask ourselves, do we actually need that kind of thing? Perhaps we do not know that we need it very, very well. If we come together and we remind ourselves of the persecution of our Prophet ﷺ that he experienced during the time that he was alive, if we allow us to understand and to really change our life, we will also understand the culture of Islam. Many of us, when they say Muharram, we do not know. The Prophet ﷺ tells us that وَمَنْ تَشَبَّهَ بِقَوْمٍ فَهُوَ مِنْهُمْ, that when you copy a particular group of people, you are one of them. We have our own culture. If everything we do, it is just to be like our neighbors who are non-Muslim, then we do not fit to live and to say ourselves that we are Muslims because we actually don't know our culture. And it also reminds us as Muslims that we are a commonwealth of Ummah. That is, we are one. When we know that today this is Muharram 1, this is Muharram 10, this is Rajab 15, all of us will be thinking the same way. And the idea of this is their own, this is our own, will not be there among us Muslims. And also, it also will give us unity, that all of us will be looking gloriously to a glorious end, that by God's grace, the Muslims will be able to be doing things together because we know that we have a culture that we will follow. It will also allow us to be mindful of our duty to Allah in our daily life. For example, you know when it is 13, 14, 15 of Islamic calendar, you'll be conscious of the fasting that the Prophet ﷺ recommended as the day of Al-HABIBIYYAH, which we are supposed to be fasting. Many of us have never even heard of that fasting. That is 13, 14, or 15. Even those of us who have heard about it that we know it, we did not even know when it is 13, when it is 14 or 15. Because we are not conscious of it. If we are conscious of the Islamic calendar, we will also be conscious of our duties as Muslims, both to Allah and to the people around us. It also allows us to be mindful of what is happening in our area with the view of rejecting or accepting what is good and rejecting what is bad. Because Quran tells us, إِنَّا أَعْطَيْنَاهُ السَّبِيلَ إِمَّا شَاكِرًا وَإِمَّا كَفُورًا. That we have shown you two ways, whether you will be grateful to Allah or you will be ungrateful. If you see what is there, if you know what Almighty Allah has asked us to do, and you are conscious of this, all the time you will decide to accept the best amount of it. Let people ask us. If Allah asks us, if you are not conscious of the months of Islamic calendar, you do not know where you are, that don't enter mosque that day. How many of us will be able to enter mosque? Well, because we might not know what is the date, which month are we, and what is that day that is associated with that. Basically, the HIJRAH institutionalized three things in our life. One, social life. Two, economic life. Three, political life. In the area of social life, it teaches us how to get used to ourselves. Because the Prophet ﷺ left Mecca for Medina, and the people that followed him, initially there were a lot of challenges, but they were able to solve it, and there was no discrimination. In fact, at the time, some people from Mecca that joined the people in Medina, those who have houses, they will vacate one room from their houses and give those who are coming from Medina. Those who have more than 2, 3 wives at that time, they said they divorced their wife so that those who came from Mecca will be able to marry them. So that the only first thing they look for, said the people guided into where they will be selling something, and people were part of it. So the HIJRAH has binded the Muslim mob together, that we see ourselves as one, and that is what we should know, that our HIJRAH today, it is also to see ourselves as one, to work together as Muslims, and to support ourselves to grow, not just Muslims, but when you see a fellow Muslim brother, you see a fellow Muslim sister that is in a problem, you should be able to support that person, whether it's from your tribe or not. If you do that, the entire world will even respect and they will honor us. Economic life, as Muslims, we are able to come together. Those who have idea of how to do things, they taught other people how to do it. And at the end of the day, the Muslims became very strong economically, and people are becoming better in their life as Muslims. And it also established the political way of living as Muslims. It showed us that we Muslims, we were very strong, and it gave us that power. And that is why, just within 5 years of the life of noble Prophet Muhammad ﷺ in Mecca, in Medina, the Muslims were almost taking over everywhere in the world. Perhaps in 30, 40 years, the Muslims, they took over everywhere, about 2/3 of the entire world. It's now telling us, now that HIJRAH is here, how do we apply it into our daily life? The HIJRAH means it is the way of change of things in our life. Look, whatever your challenges we are facing, as Muslims, now we are being challenged now. The life is no more easy for us. Everything becomes so expensive that most of us could not even afford to live. But those people who have cars, they can't even move with their cars as Muslims. Do we continue to sit down and be crying? That is not the life of a Muslim. The life of a Muslim, you should think of a way out. You should be able to think out of the box. How will you even beat the problem that we are facing as a nation? When you try to solve your own personal problem, you'll be able to solve other people's problems. Look for a way of making your life better. I gave an example in the lecture this morning that there was a man in Kaduna, a young boy, who just got married, and he was looking for sweets to buy for his 2-year-old baby that was crying. He couldn't get, and he discovered that there is need for the production of just local sweets. And that boy, when he got like 2,000 naira, he began to use the money to produce it. Today, with those who know the story we know, he's a big man in Kaduna now, and he has a lot of branches in other places in the north. That is the life of a Muslim. You cannot be sitting there and be crying. Your brother is not helping you. Your sister has not helped you. The government has abandoned you. You can also help yourself and like think out of the box. What can you do to make life better for yourself? If you try and make life better for yourself, the government you think are supposed to do something for you, I assure you that government will look for you. But if you are sitting down, you are just crying, you will only die for nothing. As a Muslim, it is not our life. It is not our way of doing things, where we just be complaining. If the only things you know is complaining, wallahi, those who used to complain and not take action, they always die wretched. They always die with sadness in their life. Learn to stand up, go and do things for yourself. Don't allow pain to kill you. Look for a better place, and that is the concept of HIJRAH in Islam. The Prophet was reported to have said that Salatatun la turadu da'awatu ashabu atayuka imamun adam wa da'watul masdum yarfa'u Allahu faqal. That 3 sets of people, their prayers will be accepted without any hindrance. He said the first one is somebody who is fasting until he breaks his fast. He said the second one is a leader who is just, that is doing rightly and giving people their due without fear or favor. Lastly, the third person is somebody that is being cheated, that they were deprived of his right. And lastly, he will answer his prayer without any hindrance. إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَأْمُرُ بِالْعَدْلِ وَالْإِحْسَانِ وَإِيتَاءِ ذِي الْقُرْبَى وَيَنْهَى عَنِ الْفَحْشَاءِ وَالْمُنكَرِ وَالْبَغْيِ يَعِظُكُمْ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَذَكَّرُونَ. Allah commands us to do our good and to grant to be a king. We forbid us evil things, injustice and rebellion. We instruct you that you may receive admonition. اللهم لا تدع لنا في مقامنا هذا ذنبا الا غفرته ولا هما الا فرجته ولا دينا الا قضيته ولا مريضا الا شفيته ولا مبتلى الا اعطيته ولا ضالا الا هديته ولا عسيرا الا يسرته برحمتك يا ارحم الراحمين. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. ربنا إنك جامع الناس ليوم لا ريب فيه إن الله لا يخلف الميعاد. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.